It's Tuesday, July 30th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we check in with Chief Sonnabend, get ready to party with a community at Unity Day, and learn more about the Barnstable Land Sharks. Now for a look at municipal and legislative notes. The Barnstable Town Council approved the renewal of the Cultural District designation for Barnstable Village through the Massachusetts Cultural Council's Cultural Districts program on July 18th. A MCC Cultural District is defined as an area that provides a center for arts, local business, and tourism. Barnstable Village originally gained this recognition in March 2014. Barnstable is one of only 2 towns in the state with 2 designated cultural districts. Chief Sonnabend joins us in studio to talk about 2 of his favorite annual events. Unity Day is this Friday, and Kids Day next Wednesday.
For joining us today. We've got 2 great events coming up, one this week, one next week. Let's start with the one that's happening this Friday. It's the 4th annual Unity Day.
Unity Day, great time, organized by People of Action, Town of Barnstable, and the Barnstable Police Department. We're proud to be a part of that. It's good. It's a good community partnership there, getting everybody to come on down, have some hamburgers, hot dogs, and rub elbows together. It's a great time.
Let's talk a little bit about how it got started. So it was started about 4 years ago. Tensions were high between a lot of communities across the United States and the police departments, and the People of Action kind of came to the police department and said, let's get together and let's have some sort of event. So let's talk a little bit about that.
People of Action, the Barboza brothers, we're just kind of seeing all this negative publicity going on around the country, and really felt that it wasn't reflective of our community at all, but thought that, instead of letting outside sources drive a narrative around here and make people think that things are terrible, let's all just get together and have a good time. And that's kind of how it all started. And they came to Chief McDonald at the time, pitched the idea to him. He thought it was a great idea. And here we are today.
I know, 4 years later.
4 years later, there's scholarships available, and they give out some scholarships. Shepley Products is heavily involved in it. Lynn Poyant helps us out an awful lot. And Amy Harwood helps us out an awful lot, and the Barboza brothers, the People of Action, doing a great job.
Yeah, it's a really great event. It's right here at Town Hall from 4 to 7 on the Village Green. There's no cost to get in.
None.
Anybody is welcome, tourists, residents, anybody. There's all sorts of things that happen during the day. There's vendors that are kind of set up, nonprofit vendors that people can get information from. There's things for the kids to do.
Right. Games and activities for the kids, information, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And just the opportunity to sit around, just the opportunity to really interact on a positive note with everybody. Really
There's a lot of people here from the police department. There'll be some people here from the Hyannis Fire Department. They bring their old-timey fire truck onto the Village Green so kids can kind of have a little touch of truck. And it's a really great event. Everyone is welcome. Come down 4 to 7 right here in Hyannis at Town Hall on the Village Green. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. It is a good time.
It is. It's a really good time. It's a really positive, one of those heartfelt events. I love it. Nice. So the other event we want to talk about is very exciting. It's Kids Day, which is like the 20-something.
23rd year.
23rd year?
Yep, 23rd year today. Or not today, next
Wednesday. Wednesday, August 7th.
Another great time. Again, completely free. Barnstable Police Department actually started with Detective Kevin Connolly, started this up 23 years ago. It was a great time. We're over at the high school, behind the high school there on the field, and what we do is we get you get the fire departments are involved. They do the foam. They get the police helicopters come on down, motorcycles, canine demonstration. SWAT team is down there. The Shriners are down there with their little cars. They drive around the track, and another great time. We raffle off a bunch of items, bikes. We get out, give off helmets. And I think this year they're talking about virtual reality headsets.
That's really cool.
A couple of those too. Yeah. That's the way the world's going now. So be a great time. Again, free food, free ice cream. All the activities are free. You got people down there doing identikit to fingerprint the kids and get the parents, so they, if some, God forbid something happens, you have some current information to give the police or whoever might need to look for the children. So.
It's a great event, open to the public.
Open to the public, completely open.
Barnstable Recreation Leisure Program always brings their kids over. There's all sorts of things for the kids to do. There's, water obstacle courses.
inflatables,
dunk
obstacle
tank,
course, the dunk
which is
tank,
always
ever popular.
which
The
will
kids aren't in the dunk tank.
No, the kids are not in the dunk tank, but they love being
They do
able to
love
try to soak a
throwing the
couple of you
ball.
guys.
It is a good time. It is a good
I know
time.
the fire department comes down and they'll do a demonstration using the jaws of life.
You know, tear apart the car, see how they take the car apart to get somebody out of it and stuff. Again, fantastic. All kinds of good information down there. All kinds of volunteers from the community come down and help this and make it a great event. Again, totally free.
Totally free.
Unity Day, Kids Day.
You can't beat it.
No, you can't.
No.
Great summer events.
So we'll do a quick recap. Unity Day is this Friday.
This Friday.
August 2nd, 4 to 7 p.m. on the Village Green. Kids Day next Wednesday, August 7th.
Yes.
It starts at 10 a.m.
10
There's a nice procession. They do get all sorts of fire trucks and police vehicles that come through, kind of process through the high school parking lot, and then everything gets underway.
Then the fun begins.
Yes. Chief, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill, music to dance to, fun activities for the whole family. Add the Barnstable Police Department and community organizations, all the ingredients for a Community Unity Day. We take a look back at 2018 Unity Day. We hope to see you this Friday, August 2nd from 4 to 7 on the Village Green.
Oh, I think this is wonderful. This is the third Unity Day, and what makes it so special is that the young men who came together to organize the Unity Day and how it initiated it. It came about because of all the turmoil that was going around the country with police officers and men of color that were clashing, and these young men got together with the law enforcement here in Barnstable and decided that they wanted to bring the groups together and show some unity. And that's what this day is about. And it just brought the whole community together to say, you know, we appreciate our law enforcement people and we should be working with them, and law enforcement needs to know us and know them and change that image of young males of color, that they are productive and they are here in the community and they do care. It's a very caring community. It's a beautiful community and a beautiful day that the Lord has given us out here today. So I'm proud of the group of young men that are putting this together, and I'm very proud of my community and that today I'm able to be a part of it.
Stay, Jesse.
You know, this is turning into one of my favorite days of the year. Just having everybody from the community come out and be a part of something positive, it's awesome. Well, I hope that more people just want to get involved with their community, whether it's volunteering, coaching a team, or just all around being a positive person and really showing pride in where you're from. And, you know, when we do things like that, I mean, great things can happen.
Community is everything. I can't run my school without community. Our students that we have come from all over Hyannis, and I've seen many of them today with their families. They run up to me like I just saw them yesterday, and it's amazing. I have people I went to high school with. I graduated from Barnstable High School, so I have people I graduated with, people I know from the community, people I know from Hyannis West. It's just a wonderful way to get everyone together. They can have law enforcement be a safe place and safe people to go to, and that's what we need to promote, is that they're here to help and support. And we try to have law enforcement come into our building as much as we can so they can see the positive side of that. Because they hear things out in the community, but we want to tell them the positive side, and that they're here to help and that they should be able to go to them and feel
Great
supported.
job out here. It gets bigger every year. The Barbosas and the Men of Action have done a fantastic job down here. They really have. It's getting the community involved in everything we do and getting us involved in things they do. Because in the end, you know, I tell people all the time, we don't know if there's a problem out there unless you talk to us, but sometimes talking to us isn't like the easiest thing for some people to do. So breaking down a little bit of those barriers and having people be a little more approachable, and to say that, yeah, I really can talk to these people and, get my point across, or, so when they get into that position where they have to call us, they're not so hesitant to call. That we're there.
The sense of the similarities that we all have while respecting each other's differences, I think really contribute to the vibrancy that exists in Barnstable, and we see that every day at the senior centre. Just being down here on the village green is an amazing experience despite the heat. Just getting to interact with people of all ages, and see the connections, and just a sense of camaraderie and excitement and energy is something that we try and replicate all the time at the senior centre, right, Judith?
That's right. And I think this really shows that the senior center isn't just an isolated entity. We're very much a part of the community and very intergenerational.
Exactly what you said. It's community. We're all together. We're having fun. People are finding commonalities in everyday life. This reminds me of the Cape Cod that I grew up on. That where we have everybody coming together. People aren't afraid of one another, and they are finding a way to break bread, have a meal together, play games together, sometimes dunking a police officer together, and it's just a wonderful opportunity. It does take a lot of planning. Fortunately, there are a lot of arms that take different parts of it. The Barnstable Police Department, the People of Action, there were certain elements that they wanted to make sure were included. Being the town, we wanted to make sure that special parts of our town were highlighted, so we're thrilled that we have the Gateway Greeters here with Park Happy. We have the taxidermy trailer for Marine Environmental Affairs. Senior Services, they're painting kindness rocks. We have folks from all over with recreation helping playing games, and it's just a really fun, old-fashioned kind of time. But I think that people are understanding that our police officers, it's been a very different world of late, and to see everybody just having a great time, I think it's really special. It's the community.
Barnstable Public Teachers and Barnstable Police Department officers have teamed up to ride 192 miles in the Pan Mass Challenge to help those with cancer. Meet the Barnstable Landsharks, taking a bite out of cancer.
Eric Driftmeyer, I'm a patrol supervisor for the Barnstable Police Department. This will be my 16th year riding the Pan Mass Challenge. I started in 2001. Shortly after losing my 2-year-old son, Drew, to a pediatric brain tumor. The Pan Mass Challenge has been a great avenue for me personally in helping to fight and eradicate cancer, and having firsthand knowledge and experience at the Jimmy Fund Clinic at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. I know that it's a worthwhile cause as this disease continues to touch people all over.
The reason how this team started, Eric as Eric said that he's done it in the past multiple times, and last year Wendy was interested in riding it again for her second time, and she asked me, and I said it was a great idea, and we kind of recruited people. Last year we called it Stand for Strong because that's when my wife was going through her treatments, and this year we kind of wanted to make it bigger and we wanted to change the name because no one in my family was going through treatment at that time. So we went to Jen and we asked her about if she had any interest, and after she just lost her parents, so she was extremely happy to do something to help cure cancer. And then Pat came along and Wendy, and then we just started recruiting. So hopefully this year we have 11. By 2 or 3 years, we'll have 60, 70 people on our team. So
Definitely been, a fun time, but it's also been a lot, hard miles and things. The other thing is also, besides the early mornings, it's also the early to bed nights on a Friday and Saturday night, getting prepared and being ready to go. So it's kind of both. It's at night when you're trying to prepare, get your bike ready for first thing in the morning, because that 4:30 alarm goes off pretty early to get out. So, but it's good.
I've been lucky enough to be training with Wendy. Wendy's my training partner, so every weekend for probably I think the past 5 weeks at least, we've been out and we've put on a lot of miles. I joke and I say I'm going to put more miles on my bike this summer than my car, which is nice. And we're trying to stack our miles so that we do, like a long ride on Saturday and a shorter, but also long ride on Sunday. And that's what we've been doing. So it's hard for us to all be together. I think there's like little pockets of training crews within the team, and everybody just tries to make it work.
Training is tough, but could never be as tough as what those people are going through or have gone through.
I primarily train early in the morning. I'm out just before sunrise. I don't do very long rides, but I try and make the miles count when I am out on the bike. I try and ride as many times per week as I possibly can. I've learned through experience riding Pan Mass Challenge. I've done it prepared and I've done it unprepared. And I'd rather have 2 enjoyable days on a bike rather than 2 miserable days on a bike.
Yes, early mornings and Saturdays in particular have been the routine. Trying to figure out the shift from training for long-distance running events, which used to be a hobby of mine, now to long-distance cycling. And there are some similarities and there are some differences. So it's a little bit of a reality check in some ways. But it's going to be fabulous, and all of us probably have to thank our families for having the flexibility to put in the time, because that time would be spent someplace else. So it is a family-wide sacrifice to get involved in something like this. So thanks to everyone at home.
I sent out cards and reached out a lot on Facebook to people that I knew that were close to my dad, actually. And so I'm kind of lucky. I already met my goal, but it makes it a little easier.
We're grateful for everybody in the community that's donated items for us to auction off. We have everything from boat rides to airplane rides, trips to the airport. What else do we have? The community has been a lot of sports memorabilia. We have people volunteering to donating food for the event. So we're grateful for the community supporting us.
I would just say that the town of Barnstable, I think, is unique in that since we live on a peninsula here, it seems to be the same businesses that get tapped for a lot of these types of events. And while the town has some folks who have done quite well in terms of their business operations, and they've been very successful, looking out over the Astro Park, I'm looking at many of their business logos right now. These folks always say yes. And without getting into any names as to who they are, I think people know who those givers are. And it seems that many of them have half of their work is building houses or painting or selling sporting goods or whatever, landscaping or whatever they do. And it seems that the other half of their business is philanthropy. And we have a fantastic number of those folks in town. And they want to know when events like this are happening, and they want to support. So without getting into any names, they know who they are. And thank you very much to that behind-the-scenes network of philanthropists here in the town of Barnstable.
what I would like to do is have people come out on the first weekend of, actually would be Sunday, the first Sunday in August, and support us, cheer us on. That is the biggest, get goosebumps right now, the goosebumps when you're riding, having the people cheer you on. So
I agree with Dennis, and I'll kind of echo those sentiments. I've ridden this ride several years, 192 miles total over 2 days, Sturbridge to Provincetown. I can't think of, I actually have most of the route is ingrained in my memory. I know it. And I cannot think of a stretch of that road over 192 miles when you don't see somebody out there holding a sign, encouraging a family member, a team, what have you. The people on the side of the road is what keeps the people on the bikes going, and without them, it would not be the event that it is.
It will be a great ride. We've, definitely putting in training and things, but it's just the memories and all the parts that people have helped us with along the way and all the encouragement they've given us. And watching friends like Denny and Mike train last year, it was something I really wanted to become a part of. My two children got to see what an amazing event it was, and we were kind of on the sidelines as support crew last year, but this year it's time to ride, so I'm looking forward to being with this team.
My name is Kim Solos, and I am riding in memory of my niece who passed away from cancer, and two of my daughter's best friends passed away from cancer when they were teenagers, and all of my friends and family who have been touched by cancer, and everyone that has been touched by cancer.
I'm Pat Clark. I'm principal here at Barnstable High School, and I'm riding in honor of my father who passed away at age 61 from pancreatic cancer. Also, the Barnstable High School in particular seems to have a disproportionate number of families who have handled cancer-related issues. So not only will some of the tassels hanging off my helmet identify my father's name, it'll be the names of many of the families here of our teachers at Barnstable High School.
My name is Wendy Holland, and I'm riding in memory of my brother-in-law who passed away 3 years ago. I'm also riding in support of my teammates and the community.
My name is Jen Parkas Ellis. I'm the supervisor for the Community Impact Unit for the Barnstable Police Department. I'm riding for the first time this year in memory of my dad and my mother-in-law who passed this fall. Also for the survivors in my life, including my mother, my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my aunt.
My name is Wendy Johnson. I'm a math teacher here at Barnstable High School, and this is my first year riding Pan Mass. I'm riding in for my mom, who is a breast cancer survivor, and I've had many students at this point that have passed away from cancer, and a lot of other family members that have gone through this and friends, and also for the Stamfells and everybody on this team who has lost very close people to them.
My name is Dennis Stanfield. I'm a Barnstable police officer. I'm also the school resource officer at the Barnstable High School. I am a two-time survivor of cancer. I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a large diffuse B cell, and I had thyroid cancer. My wife is a survivor of breast cancer, and that is basically one of the main reasons why I'm riding is to stop and find a cure for stop cancer and find a cure.
Barnstable Land Sharks taking a bite out of cancer. Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. Sturgis Library is hosting a very special weekend of programs celebrating the 50th anniversary of the publication of Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. The centerpiece of the celebration will be an 8-hour marathon reading of Slaughterhouse-Five, as well as several of Vonnegut's shorter pieces to be held on Saturday, August 3rd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Activities throughout the weekend will also include lectures, a Learn to Doodle like Vonnegut afternoon, a film screening, and even a chowder fest. Visit www.sturgislibrary.org for all the weekend details. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.